Hello Brick Lane, I'm Andrew Hageman, and I'm here to offer an update on the children's ministry and on our Sunday school classes. So the children's ministry is excited to share that we are able to begin Sunday school this coming Sunday, November the 29th, after so many months of not being able to have it. And the vast majority of our classes are going to begin this Sunday, and then we're going to continue to provide them provided that nothing changes from the government regulations and provided that we are able to continue staffing them. So a little bit about how we got here. Ever since the virus hit, the challenges of doing childcare and of children's classes have revolved around procedures, safety, changing government regulations, space concerns, and volunteers. So I want to address some of those so you know how it is that we got to the place that we're at now. So first off, the CM team really needed to see what procedures were going to be adopted in accordance with our government guidelines. We didn't want to start our Sunday school classes and then be in a position where we had to immediately stop because our procedures no longer met what the government was requiring. So we wanted to wait and see what was going to happen. And then we began seeing how schools and other in-person classes were being done, and then the concern shifted to our space, because we were worried that if social distancing was required of our children, that we wouldn't even be able to have the space to have these classes, because most of our classrooms in the children's wing could only realistically fit 4 to 5 people if they were properly actually distanced away from each other. However, it has turned out that in our discussions with some of our medical experts, what we are determining for the children is that if they are wearing masks, then they do not need to be observing social distancing. This is based on the reopening that we've seen in some of our schools and the nature of the transmission for younger children, especially prepubescent children. So there's some data here that we had to sift through in making that decision that as long as they're masked, they don't need to be socially distanced. Then finally we came to our third hurdle, which is volunteers. So with COVID, cases just absolutely spiking through the roof as of late, we had to do extensive volunteer recruitment to staff the wing with teachers and with helpers and other volunteers. When we first started to work on the Sunday school reopening process, we had about a third of our original staff that we could pull from. And finding replacements was very challenging because there were a lot of people who were just unable to serve because of health concerns, many people who were in high-risk categories or who were concerned and were not comfortable returning. And many of these people had excellent reasons for not being able or comfortable serving in the wing. And myself and the rest of my CM team felt that it would be very inappropriate to open up the Sunday school classes with staff that was uncomfortable in serving in that position and in the potential dangers of the viruses that we're facing. So, a great deal of work was done, and through a lot of work on the CM team, and also Merle Stoltzfus, who came alongside us in helping with the recruiting, we were able to get the people necessary to open these classes up. So that's a little bit of background on how it took so long to get to where we can reopen and the obstacles that we faced that needed to be overcome in order to make this happen. We are very thankful that after many months we are able to get reopened again. And our team has been thinking about Sunday school pretty much, I think, every single week since COVID hit. So this has been a long time coming, and we can just absolutely praise God that the obstacles that we were facing have been overcome and the Lord has provided for our needs. So turning then to logistics for Sunday school. Like I said, they'll be starting on November the 29th during the first service. So the classes are going to be starting at 9:30 and they will go until 10:30. I would personally suggest that you drop your child off a little bit earlier so that you yourself have time, if you're going to a Sunday school class after or to the first service to worship, that you drop your child off first so that you have time yourself to get to where you need to be at 9:30. It's important to note that this decision to have Sunday school during the first hour was one that we did not in any way take lightly. It was a huge challenge deciding where and when exactly we would have Sunday school. When we decided to have it during the first hour, we had the lower level service, which at the time was mask optional. And my team and I were deeply, deeply conscious of the fact that when we opened up Sunday school, it would really impact people that were on, regardless of where we did it, it would impact people that were on opposite ends of the masking spectrum and their comfort level. So, what classes are going to be opening up this Sunday? We will have our pre-K class, kindergarten, first and second grade, which is together, and also the third and fourth grade, which again is together. And then soon we will also have the fifth and sixth grade class, but for this week our teachers, the Hoax, are unavailable. So you can look forward to that coming in the future. You'll see that in the sign-ups. Turning now to procedures that we've established for doing Sunday school. As I mentioned earlier, the students and teachers will be masked during the class, but they will not be distanced. We'll also be making use of hand sanitizer in the classrooms, and we are not planning on having snack time for the kids, so you might want to plan accordingly for that. And we might also suggest for you that you have your child use the bathroom before going into their classroom. That just might make things a little bit easier. For drop-off, when you first enter the wing, a volunteer will greet your family, just like normal, and provide your younger children's with name tags, just like in the past. And they will be asked there at the booth at the desk there to sanitize their hands before they go down the hall. Then you can proceed with your child down the hall to their classroom, but we would ask that parents not actually go into the classroom with their child, just to keep some of the sanitization going. And keep in mind that the hallway is now one way, so we would ask that you would continue all the way through and then circle around to wherever you need to go. That exit down at the end of the hall is stairs, so if you need to use a different exit, you certainly can, but if you're able to, we would ask you to treat the hallway as one way so that we can keep the traffic moving and keep the amount of time with congestion at as little as we possibly can, basically. And then in terms of pickup, same procedure. Just remember that if you have a younger child, grade 2 or younger, you need to have your red card with you to pick them up. We would also suggest for parents to very closely monitor just your family in general. If anyone at all is experiencing cold or flu-like symptoms, we would kindly ask that your family does not enter the children's wing. Also, keep in mind that the new state regulations require that if you travel out of state, that you either quarantine for 2 weeks when you return, or that you get a COVID test and have it be negative before returning to normal gatherings of any kind. And that guideline would apply both to our children and also to our teachers. So keep that in mind. Now, turning our attention to childcare, we are also very pleased to announce that we will now be offering childcare for infants, toddlers, and 2-year-olds during the first service. Again, this is something that we have long wanted to be able to offer, and we are trying now to open it up so that we can do that. With Sunday school, what we tried to do was move the rooms around so that there would be as little need to sanitize as possible, because there wouldn't be people using the rooms at different hours, but you should keep in mind that with childcare, that's not going to be the case because we have to use the nursery and the 2-year-old room. But what you should know in terms of cleaning is that our volunteers are going to be wiping down toys in between services. They're going to be monitoring the use of the toys much more closely than we have in the past. And we're just going to be cleaning those rooms as best we possibly can in between the 2 services to avoid any cross-contamination. Childcare for this service, for the first service, is still very much in need of volunteers. We're trying to fill out our schedule throughout the end of December, and we still need a number of people. If you are able, would you please consider serving in one of those rooms during the first hour? It's our goal to open up those rooms and not have to close them back down again because of lack of volunteers. So if you're interested in serving, you could contact me. My cell number is 484-363-9876. So keep that in mind, and we are really excited that we can open up childcare again during the first hour. Signing up for the childcare and for Sunday school, here's how you do it. We're planning on integrating that sign up into the existing sign up that everybody is already using every single week for worship. That will allow us to do contact tracing to the different families. If there is someone that has been exposed or has gotten a positive test for the virus, we can do contact tracing much more easily through the use of these sign-ups. So sign up there, and you can also tell there exactly what classes are open. So if there's not a sign-up for any given week, then that probably means that that class is not open for any given reason, potentially like that our teachers are traveling and aren't able to have that class this Sunday because they need to quarantine. If you are already signed up for this Sunday, I might suggest that you go and add a new sign up to add in for those Sunday school classes. The sign up is already live. It's ready to go for this Sunday, the 29th. So fill that out and you'll be good to go. Finally, just keep your eyes peeled for future communications from the Sunday school team. There should be some more info coming out in terms of logistics and also messages in terms of our children's missions project for their tithing that they do. Thank you so much for listening and for praying for the children's ministry. The road to where we are at now has been very long, and we're hoping that we can move forward with these ministries that are so vital to the life of our church and our families with children, even in spite of the challenges that we're facing. We're hoping to keep pressing forward on this. The Lord has been so faithful to this ministry, and He's provided so much for us and removed so many obstacles. So we are just rejoicing that we are at this place and we can open up Sunday school and we can open up first hour childcare. So thank you so much for listening, and Lord bless you, Brick Lane.